So you're looking for a solution to monitor events, logs, applications, performance, or some combination of those across your IT infrastructure, or perhaps across multiple infrastructures with a variety of operating systems and even custom applications, or within highly secured or airlocked networks. You've come to the right place. ELM Enterprise Manager is a centralized, premise-based monitoring solution providing advanced collection, filtering, and notification capabilities. Whether you're monitoring 10 systems or over 1,000,
ELM is a highly scalable platform capable of processing thousands of events per second. Using native Windows APIs along with scanning the registry, ELM is able to collect all Windows logs as well as registered custom logs from your servers.
ELM takes event logs, application logs, syslogs, and SNMP data and converts all this information into a standardized format for simplified viewing, investigation, and notifications or alerts. Windows performance objects and counters can also be collected, summarized, and compared against thresholds to detect bottlenecks and trouble areas requiring immediate attention. Need to satisfy compliance requirements? All of the data ELM collects is securely stored in Microsoft SQL Server databases. ELM uses two instances, a primary database and a failover database should the primary be unavailable. There's also an optional third instance for archiving purposes. That's right, just SQL, nothing proprietary here. This gives you the ability to archive events for weeks, months, and years if needed, and you can report on these events with ELM's built-in reporting engine or use your favorite third-party reporting tools. After all, it's your data. So who uses ELM? Many of our long-term customers are in industries where IT operations are absolutely mission-critical and are heavily regulated or even top secret. Financial industries and insurance services, managed service providers, healthcare facilities, public safety solutions and 911 call center providers, and several branches of the U.S. military and government. ELM also supports a number of technology companies as well as manufacturers around the world, to name just a few. So let's take a closer look at how ELM can support your operations. First off, it's important to understand the licensing structure of ELM. There are 5 different products or licenses within ELM. Each of these licenses provides a different set of features such as a good, better, best model. The benefit of this design is that you don't have to choose just one license for all of your systems. You can create a mixed environment based on your specific monitoring needs and budget, and we're here to help you figure out what that might look like. So let's get started. Once you walk through the installation process, the first step in setting up your environment is to deploy agents to systems you want to monitor. Each system, whether a server, workstation, or network device, will have a license assigned that will dictate the monitoring features available. ELM comes pre-configured with several of the most common monitoring features used, so you can begin assigning these to groups of agents known as categories or to individual systems. This begins the collection process. A half-dozen notification methods are also partially configured. Depending on which you'd like to start with, you'll simply need to edit the properties and enter in your specific information. Okay, so how do you get notified about specific events taking place, or performance issues like an Exchange server running out of disk? We'll take a look at that next, along with event views and filters which tie directly to notification methods. Now, if you're already familiar with ELM, or if you just completed the install or even poked around on our website, you've probably noticed that ELM version 7.5 has 2 management consoles. This is part of our transformation going from an MMC style UI to an entirely new UI. For the most part, the MMC UI in ELM is where all configuration of monitors, filters, views, and notifications takes place. The new UI is where database configuration and viewing of event and performance data as well as reporting takes place. This is also where you'll find the dashboard with up-to-the-minute system status indicators. With the next major release of ELM, the MMC will be gone and all configuration and viewing functions will be in the new UI. For this demonstration, we are using the dark theme of the new UI. However, a light theme is also available depending on your preference. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's take a look at some of the views and filters and how to assign notification methods to specific events. To do that, we'll jump into the MMC UI. In the left pane, you will see the ELM server, a monitoring and management directory, and a viewing and notifying directory. As we drill down into each directory, you'll see the details of how ELM is organized. Within Monitoring and Management, we have the Agents and Monitors library. This is where new agents can be deployed as well as new monitoring items configured. In our little lab here, we're running some Windows Server 2016 boxes and an instance of Server 2019 Core. Further down, we see the monitoring categories to help organize systems and create monitoring templates. Then we have the maintenance categories, used to silence unnecessary notifications or alerts during planned downtime or maintenance. Under the Viewing and Notifying directory, we have a Filters and Methods library, and then you'll see the list of pre-configured event views, security views, and correlation views within ELM. ELM utilizes include filters for a whitelist approach, exclude filters for a blacklist approach, or a combination of these for fine-tuning your collections and notifications. There are also correlation filters to look for specific event sequences and timeouts, which also can be used for notification. Include and exclude filters are used globally throughout the product and can be reused in multiple places. Each filter is highly customizable and can utilize any or all of the event fields, such as computer name, log name, username, event source, event ID, event category, and the methods contained field for any freeform text. Wildcard operators, including and, or, and not, and partial matches are also supported. Each of the views out of the box in ELM is pre-configured using different filters. You can easily create your own views as well as your own filters by entering in criteria yourself, or you can right-click on a specific event and have ELM automatically fill in the specifics of that event criteria for you when we're creating a new view. Under each view, you'll see the filters and any notification methods assigned to that view. That means that any event this view is configured to display will trigger the assigned notification. Another great feature of ELM is that notification methods can be scheduled. So for example, on a specific event view that you've created, you may have one notification method assigned for normal business hours and another for after-hours support. Now we'll take a look at the Filters and Methods library and all notification methods. These are the defaults in ELM that are partially configured. For this example, we'll choose the SMTP notification and complete the setup. Here you can see the SMTP server, the from address, and options to customize the message length as well as other security options. The next tab allows us to customize the contents of the message. You can insert any variable from a collected event, and freeform text can also be used. The next tab shows which views this notification method is assigned to. The next option is to set thresholds. By default, we activate after an event occurring just one time. However, if we wanted to know only after something such as multiple logon failures, then we can modify these settings. For example, after 3 consecutive logon failures within 10 seconds, we can then be notified. So the ELM server keeps track of how many times that event has been registered, and we're getting notified for every 1 of 3 logon failures that occurs within 10 seconds. We could also set the notification to send the first few that occur, then sleep. Here we're setting the threshold to send the first 3 events that occur within 10 seconds, then wait 5 minutes for us to take corrective actions before notifying again. The last option is for consolidating notifications for barrage or event storm protection. This is an option that could be used when hundreds of messages are expected within a short amount of time. Typically, you'll also want to leave this box checked so that we don't get notifications on any historical data that may have been cached at the agent level during an outage or when the ELM server was unavailable. Next is scheduled hours for this notification. As we mentioned earlier, if just one person is receiving the notification, we can leave the schedule on 24/7, or perhaps if there's an after-hours team, we could have 2 notifications, one for normal business hours only, and one scheduled for after-hours only. Now we'll switch gears and switch UIs to take a quick look at reports. ELM comes pre-configured with dozens of reports for you to use. These reports are designed to help analyze network activity and meet various security and compliance requirements. Reports can be previewed and scheduled or published to run at regular intervals. Customization options are also available. Looking for something specific in a report? TNT Software is happy to create custom reports to satisfy your specific needs. This concludes our introduction to ELM Enterprise Manager. We hope you enjoyed this brief demonstration and look forward to getting started with ELM. We also invite you to try a full-featured free trial and see for yourself why we say, smart monitoring software, endless possibilities. And keep an eye out for other instructional videos on ELM. Until next time, thanks for watching.